A.J. Brown remains at the center of trade conversations. In a story on ESPN.com Tuesday, Nick Sirianni indicated there was mutual interest between Brown and the team in continuing his career with the Eagles, but couldn't guarantee it. Yesterday at the Combine, Patriots head coach Mike Vrabel, who Brown played for 3 years in Tennessee, talked about what that relationship means to him.
It has meant a lot. I've watched him grow. I've watched him mature. I'm proud of him. Proud of the father that he is. I'm proud of the husband, and that has nothing to do with where he plays and where he played. So those are the things that are important. We reach out and text each other during the things that happen good to each other, and sometimes things don't go so well for the people that you're close with, and you text those as well. So it's a two-way street of support and reminders of what got us to where we are here today.
Okay, and so where we are here today, Schrager is in Indianapolis with his ear to the ground on everything. Harry is back from yesterday, but Dan, we've not heard from you in quite some time. And so the first question is to you: should the Eagles be looking to move away from A.J. Brown?
I don't think you're running towards that if I'm Philadelphia, but you have to ask this question and answer it. Why the fall off last year between A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts performance-wise? From 2022 to 2024, that combination was top 3 or top 4 in the NFL in basically everything. They were fantastic. Last year, massive fall off. So if you're Philly and you're looking at the situation, was it because of Kevin Patullo, their play caller, or is there a different reason? Is A.J. not the same player? Is the connection between him and the quarterback not the same? If that's the case, then you got to move off him. And if you decide to move off him, if I'm New England, if I'm Baltimore, if I'm Buffalo, I'm doing everything I can to not hang up that phone without acquiring A.J. Brown.
And then, Harry, you're reading body language, you're reading books perhaps during while the defense is out on the field, which we've seen, and all the rest of that. Do you feel like A.J. Brown is looking, whatever it is he says, and he's not, he'll say whatever he'll say. Do you think that he would be best served finding a new team?
Yes, it would be best served. I don't know if that's going to be best for the Philadelphia Eagles, though. Howie Roseman went on the Rich Eisen show the other day, and he basically said this: we went 11-6 and we won the NFC East. Yeah. But that's not our standard. Our standard is a Super Bowl. So Howie Roseman is in the business of winning. Also look at a new offensive coordinator, a first-time offensive coordinator in Sean Mannion. And you got to look at the systems of where he came from. He came from the system for Matt LaFleur. He's played for Sean McVay, Kevin O'Connell, that Shanahan-McVay type system. Well, A.J. Brown thrived in that system when he was in Tennessee under Arthur Smith. And Matt LaFleur was there. Arthur Smith got the offensive coordinator job after that, still ran the same type of system. So I'm saying to myself, I think A.J. Brown's still top 5 wide receiver in the league. Why would I want a guy with a first-time play caller to exit my team when I know he can help my team based on what he's going to be running offensive-wise?
All right, Schrager's in Indianapolis, obviously, where everybody this is the best place in the world for guys like you, Peter, to get as much information as possible. So what are you hearing about A.J. Brown?
Yeah, and a lot of the conversations are had in hallways and bars and in restaurants, and a lot of the talk was about A.J. Brown yesterday. And I'll tell you this, there is a difference in tone from the trade deadline when Howie Roseman said to everybody, absolutely, off the table, we're not trading A.J. Brown, to here in Indy, where it seems like he's almost saying, well, I'll never just say no to listening to offers. A.J. Brown's Twitter handle is always open. Well, Howie Roseman this time of the year is always listening. Mm-hmm. That's his mantra. Offer me. What do you got? Truth of the matter is, it is cost prohibitive for them to trade him before June 1st. That's a $40 million dead cap hit. So there are financial barriers here for the A.J. Brown trade. And to Harry's point, Sean Mannion was one of 17 different offensive coordinator candidates who proposed their plan to the Eagles. 17. He was one of just 7 to make the second round. He showed them cut-ups of how his offense, which is play-action heavy, would work with the personnel that they have there in Philly. That includes A.J. Brown. Howie's always looking to make a deal. He's the best in the business when it comes to that. But he also likes to add, not subtract. The trade of A.J. Brown, they would need something back, and also it would be a really big financial hit.
Yeah, I'm with the financial hit. We know that the NFL, if you want to make a move, you make a move. Here's the thing. One, A.J.'s always been a man beater. He's killed man coverage. He didn't do that last year. Philly has to answer the question of why. The second thing is this, when it comes to system and scheme and is Philly going to be better, let's say he stays a Philadelphia Eagle and things once again don't go ideally. That'd be 3 years in a row if you're Philadelphia dealing with some stuff of that when it comes to AJ. the tweets, the books, the sideline. I'm a huge A.J. Brown fan. Let's make that very, very, very clear. But you got to ask yourself as an organization, do you want that at least potentially for another year?
I said it yesterday. Think of the Jedi mind trick that they played on all of us. That man was reading a book on the sideline during games, and they had us all convinced it was fine. It's just nothing. That's just his outlet. Okay. That's just how he handles things. I know they've been playing the game for 100 years, and no one else has ever read a book on the sideline while the game was going on. But there's no problem here. There's nothing to be worried about. It was actually kind of genius on their part that the rest of us looked at it and said, okay, yeah, I guess they have a point.
Yeah.
What not?
And what happens if in September there are growing pains? It's a new offensive coordinator.
Right.
What happens then?
I don't know. Maybe he'll have to go read a book that's a roadmap to another place, like New England or Buffalo or some other place where they could use a wide receiver. Coming up, what's going on in Mr. Rod?
Faces in new places under center next season. While it's not a big free agent class in the NFL, Malik Willis expected to get a payday this offseason. Kirk Cousins will join the open market in just a few weeks. Meanwhile, Kyler Murray, Tua Tagovailoa, they remain hot names when it comes to potential trades. And SportsCenter on the Road is presented by Geico. NFL analyst Peter Schrager joining us now from the Combine Live. Peter, the talk of the Combine so far is veteran quarterbacks potentially finding new homes. What's the name you're hearing the most right now?
I think Kyler Murray is the biggest name here in Indianapolis, and it's every conversation I'm having is what's the latest you're hearing on Kyler? What's the latest you're hearing on Kyler? We got the story that Monty Ossenfort said they are open to options, and obviously Mike LaFleur spoke on it, but our ESPN reporter Josh Weinfuss said that they haven't even spoken with Kyler directly. There's a lot of smoke and fire on this one, and the fire would tell you that Kyler's days as a Cardinal are likely numbered, which would mean what? Well, the first option would, of course, be trade. But with Kyler's price tag, it is so expensive for this quarterback who only played in 5 games last year and is coming off an injury. I don't know if they're going to be able to get any other team to take on that salary. The third day of the league year, the Cardinals have to pay Kyler a ton more money. It's basically a $40 million commitment that someone else would take. If the Cardinals can get out of this contract, meaning they could just outright release Kyler Murray, they'll eat a lot of costs. It'll be a lot of dead cap money. But then he'll be a free agent able to sign elsewhere, and they avoid having to pay another $20 million. The likelihood is that Kyler will be playing elsewhere next season. The question is, can he be traded? And he would probably have some input on that. Or will he just be outright released? We'll find out in the next couple weeks.
Yeah, to your point, too, about just playing 5 games last season. He suffered that foot injury in week 5 against the Titans, so it's been a while since we saw him on the field. Let's turn to another hot topic at the Combine. C-Dub, take it away.
Yep, there's another veteran that could be on the move. Wide receiver Mike Evans is going to listen to other teams in free agency. In 2024, he had a chance to test the market, but he re-upped with the Bucs before the legal tampering period even began. That is not the case this time around. So, Peter, what are you hearing about his future with Tampa?
It's interesting. So Mike Evans has had the same agent his entire career, Derek Gilmore, and he's only played for the Buccaneers. And the only GM he's ever had is Jason Licht. Guess who Jason Licht's first pick ever as a Buccaneers general manager was? It was Mike Evans. There is so much sentimental value to this. There is so much real love. Their families are close. They've watched Mike Evans grow. And yet, Mike Evans is now looking at a team that has 2 younger wide receivers in Emeka Egbuka and Chris Godwin, who both look to be options that were getting a lot of targets last year. And there's a chance Mike Evans could actually make more money on the open market. I do think at the end of the day, the Buccaneers are going to want to have a last chance and a last offer to Mike Evans. And I do believe, in much as this is business and as much as this is, hey, take the highest dollar value, I do think there is some actual heart and sentimental value to the Mike Evans-Buccaneers relationship. They want him to end his career as a Buccaneer. The question is, at what price?
Yeah, which would be